Welcome to another episode. Cue the music. So, this is yet again a time when I really don't have a theme. I don't have an overall topic. There's just some things I want to talk about. And I kind of realized right before I started recording this that one of the topics, this table, I can't show you. I mean, I can't, it's down here. But I had this old table that, despite the fact that I had been using coasters with it, I chill glasses. And if you chill glasses, you know that there's no coaster that's the master of a chilled glass. The amount of condensation on the outside is going to soak the coaster and then soak the wood underneath. And basically, this wasn't a very expensive table that I used to have. As a matter of fact, this is not a very expensive table that I have now. But the old table just got so much condensation over the years in it, around the coasters, that it was falling apart and it was gross. So I got a new, also cheap table, the purpose of which was just to get me through until I move, which I know you've been hearing this for episode after episode. I've contacted a couple of real estate agents today about the move. But this is just to get me through. And maybe I'll put an image where I bought it. It's just a really simple, like an IKEA type of thing. I didn't even have to look at the instructions. The moment I saw the pieces, I'm like, okay, yeah, you screw the legs into the top piece, and then you thread the legs through the bottom piece, and you screw the bottoms. I mean, it was, it was done in 30 seconds. But it's much nicer than the one I had, simply because it's new, and I'm kind of happy that I got it. That doesn't justify a podcast, of course. But another thing I wanted to talk about is, what is up with the weather? It's May in DC, and it's freezing flippin' cold. Here's the thing. I'm normally a winter guy. I like winter weather. But once spring starts really promising summer, I'm kind of one of those people that when I make plans, I want to go. It's like I don't like making plans, but the moment I'm like, yeah, I want to go right then. And so when spring starts to promise summer, I'm like, okay, I want summer days, I want warm days, I want beach weather. This middle stuff, I don't like that. I like autumn, the middle of autumn, but spring, I don't know what it is about spring. I don't like it. I want to go, once winter's over, I want to and be done. But the past few days, I know that it's getting better, but the past 2 days, it has been super cold in the morning. Not snowy cold, but your body gets used to, in the winter, your body gets used to it, and so it's like, oh, it's 28 degrees outside, and your body's like, yeah, well, it's winter, and it just goes with it. But once the weather starts warming up, and your body's like, oh, this is the new thing, you get used to the spring weather, and then suddenly it drops into the low 40s like it has the last couple of mornings, and it just feels like death. And so, actually, you know what? Let me demonstrate it this way. I should not be able to see my breath in May. It's May, Justin Timberlake. That was me this morning. So, I really am not liking this. I want the summer weather. I want the back and forth between the cold and the warm gone. I want the pollen gone. Of course, I know there are other pollens, but whatever. So, how did I justify a podcast on those two things? Well, I didn't. I actually have a book. And this book is, if this is the book I think it is, this is a weird book. And I got it precisely because it was a weird book, because every once in a while I liked it. That's my recycling pile. I'm not just throwing stuff on the floor. I mean, technically I am, but it's all organized in one spot. I guess that's a very man way. If I were married, or if I were living with a partner, she would probably make me put a box there to throw stuff in, so I would have a recycling box rather than a recycling pile. But since that's not yet true, you know what? I kind of feel like I don't want to read the title before. This is by an influential French philosopher and theologian, Henry Corbin. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. My French has deteriorated since high school. It's C-O-R-B-I-N, Corbin, I'm assuming. Wait. This is on Henri Corbin. It's written by Tom Cheetham, and it's an analysis of his use of the Arabic term ta'wil, which means to cause to return, to lead back to the origin, and thus to the return to the true and original meaning of a written text. Anyway, as you can see, it's sort of a religious, spiritual thing. And as you might know, my degree is in comparative religion, that's kind of stuff. Because anytime I read something like this, because not only because I come from that background, but also I am an avid fan of fantasy, and I write some fantasy. So when I read something like this, I can either agree with it or I can go, this would make good fodder for fantasy fiction. Anyway, it's All the World an Icon, Henri Corbin and the Angelic Function of Beings by Tom Cheetham, who is also the author of After Prophecy and The Green Man Earth Angel. I know. But you know me. I always give every book its due, and I'm going to give this one its due. This goes into my general read pile because I'm still in the middle of the book that I showed you last time, the one on idealist ontology. So we'll see how that gets in there. This isn't going to be a long one. As a matter of fact, you're almost done. You're almost free of me. Free of me! All you have to do now is like, share, and subscribe. And as always, when you subscribe and you get a notification, check back again for more Thoughts of Leith.